Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second set of the Winter League playoffs between STX versus Woongjin Stars. This is essentially what amounts to the quarterfinals. The winner of this series will go on to play the number 2 seed MBC game here, and the winner of that series will play number 1 seeded Rollster. Yeah, what's the difference? But, yeah, this is STX and Woongjin Stars. STX Cal winning the very first game against MVP. And Woongjin Stars, if you recognize who he is, props to you. Woongjin Stars has sent out Neo, G, Ki, not throwing out any of their big three. So Free, Quandro, and Zero are sitting on the bench once again. And Woongjin Stars is sending out Ki. Once again on Roadrunner, too. The last time we saw he was busy doing 3 before pool into fast hive into mass failure against 4GG on Roadrunner. At least I think this is Roadrunner. Could be Tornado. No, I think it's Roadrunner. Yeah, looks like Roadrunner. So, it's a pretty failed build last time. Hopefully he's got something a little better this time in store for his ZVP. I haven't seen his ZVP before. Only seen that one game ZVT for him. Gotta say, was not particularly impressed. But hopefully he's got something here, because apparently for some reason they're throwing him out against KT and now again in the Winners League playoffs. So Woongjin Stars is seeing something in him. They see something. They feel that he's got something to give, and that's what they're doing here. But I just don't like the play. It's a very, very dangerous play. This is an overpool build from Ki, by the way. So dangerous, because what you're doing by doing this is that you're saying not only are your when you start out with MVP, your big 4 aren't going to get to play. So probably it was Chi that was going to get left out. Now by going with Ki, your big 3 are not going to all get to play. So should Ki lose without getting a kill, you're going to have so much pressure placed on Zero and Quandro. It is unbelievable. That is going to be so difficult for Zero and Quandro to get 4 kills. Especially after you've essentially shown no confidence in them. By doing this, you're pretty much saying, I don't think our big 3 can take your big 3 head on. So we're going to try and switch things up and come up with something a little bit unexpected, and maybe come up with some builds and some strategies that you're not expecting, but not from players that you know. So I don't like it. It's just not a very confident build. It's not a very confident strategy, I should say, by the coaches for Woongjin Stars. It's a very kind of a prayer strategy. If this doesn't work, they're essentially done. And but if it does work, of course, they look like geniuses. So one way or the other, I'm gonna say that the decision is bad. Even if should Ki get a kill, or heaven forbid 2 kills, I would still say it's a tactically a very, very questionable decision to lead off with MVP and Ki and show that little confidence in your star players when they are as good as they are. All 4 of them, remember, are in the top 30 for Kespa ranking. So it's not like they're playing poorly or anything. They're playing very, very well these days. And in my personal opinion, I think this is kind of a smack in the face of the big players for Stars. But hopefully they're not taking it that way. And should Ki lose early, the Zero and Quandro can come up with something and still come away with some wins for Woongjin Stars and make this into an interesting series. Don't want to see this end quickly, that's for sure. That would be kind of unfortunate. We want to see a long series, and we need to see Calm versus Zero at the end of this. I so want to see Calm versus Zero. That's just the I know most people don't really want to see ZVZ, don't really anticipate ZVZ, but I think Calm versus Zero would just be absolutely awesome, and if that happens, I would just be so happy. And that's that. Nexus finally is up for Cal. He went two cannons before Gateway, actually, or yeah, 2 cannons before Nexus. So he played a pretty darn safe build here. Actually, didn't cut even like a quarter corner against Overpool. You can usually go 1 cannon right into Nexus, but he went 2 cannons, which is kind of overly safe, but I guess his thinking was, okay, Ki's kind of a mediocre overall player. I'll just play it safe and get up my cannons, make sure that if there is some sort of like all-in build and maybe I don't detect it quite in time, I'll be able to defend against it. And I think he actually went 2 cannons and a gateway before Nexus. That's pretty ridiculous for Cal to do. That is being really afraid of early link pressure. That is for sure. And actually, he's got a Zealot already out. We'll see if he's able to do something with his Zealot. I remember the last time I saw Cal send out his first Zealot in a PvZ. It was versus Jaedong on match point, and his Zealot went up and did absolutely nothing against Jaedong's third base. And while this was going on, a couple of Lings were inside of Cal's base because they had Ling run by and were killing probes, and it was not very pretty at all. So this time there was no run-by on him, so it looks like he's pretty safe on that accord, but still doesn't look like the Zealot's going to do much of anything. It looks like it's just sort of patrolling around, not even actually going on the offensive, just sort of watching for any sort of a run-by, or maybe a stray drone, or a stray scouting Zergling, something like that. That looks about all he's trying to do here. He needs to be careful, Cal, actually. This Zealot could get picked off if the probe they're trying to help defend it, but I think that probe is going to go down. Another Zealot coming out to try and defend it. Will that Zealot live? Zealot does go down. Zealot does go down. 4 Zerglings go down, a Zealot and a probe go down. So a little bit of an advantage there for Sulky. Zerglings, who the hell cares? They're Zerglings. But if he is going for a +1 timing push, but it looks like we do have the Citadel and the Stargate up, and no +1 upgrading, so it's not going to be a +1 timing push, but certainly probably getting some early speed, and then going to go straight into Templar tech. He's got both the simulators going, so that should be what Cal's going to be going. Early Templars with hopefully some speed. First Corsair is out, heading over to Sulky's base. Going to get a scout on, going to see what's going on, and this looks like a really normal traditional build. 3 hatch into lair. Gonna grab that Spire. Gonna get some Scourge out. Gonna follow that up with some Hydralisks. And this is gonna be really, really standard. We'll see if the Hydras actually stay Hydralisks, or if a lot of players these days in ZVP have been using the Hydra's Den to get out a lot of Lurkers and put on a strong Lurker contain. That's been a very, very popular play. We'll see how Sulky decides to play, which style he decides to go for. We've got a nice wall coming up at the natural expansion with the Hydra's Den and the another hatchery, as well as a creep colony. The third base from we'll have to take another look at it. Just by first glance, it didn't look all that pretty, all that well defended, but didn't get a chance to really take a good look at it. They kind of just sort of flicked over to it really quickly. And oh, Cal with being a little careless there, losing one of his Corsairs to Scourge. That was pretty careless. Second creep colony coming up at the natural expansion for Sulky as well to defend against these 4 Zealots that have actually pushed out for Cal. 4 Zealots is, of course, very, very good against normal numbers of Zerglings at this stage of the game, but against a couple of sunken colonies, they just will not do much of anything. Yeah, they won't be able to put any pressure on, really. We got 2 sunken colonies, an evolution chamber, and a hatchery coming up at the third base, and actually that is a pretty decent wall, and it's not perfect, but that spot is just pretty wide open, so it's probably about as good as she's gonna get. So you do what you got to do there. And in some situations, you use what you got to work with, and yeah, looks pretty good here. And looks like he's actually going to go try and put some pressure on with those Zealots, but he's going to see the 2 sucking colonies at each of those bases, and Cal's got to be thinking, "Geez, I thought I went."